The distress beacon pulsed weakly across the asteroid field, a dying heartbeat in the void. Dr. Ellen Maris adjusted her medical scanner and frowned at the readings. Whatever was transmitting that signal wasn't using any standard Galactic Council frequency. In fact, it wasn't even close to anything in the known database. "Command, I'm picking up an unidentified distress signal. Requesting permission to investigate," she transmitted back to her survey vessel. The response crackled through. "Negative, Doctor. That sector is marked as Draken territory. You are ordered to." Ellen switched off her comm unit. She'd ask for forgiveness later. The Hippocratic Oath didn't have a species limitation, and it certainly didn't care about territorial boundaries. Her shuttle descended through the thin atmosphere of the barren moon, landing coordinates locked onto the beacon's source. What she found made her breath catch in her throat. A massive creature lay sprawled across the rocky terrain, a dragon easily 40 meters from snout to tail. Its scales, which should have shimmered with iridescent blues and silvers, were dull and scorched. A gaping wound across its flank leaked luminescent blood that pooled on the ground like liquid starlight. But it wasn't the dragon that made Ellen's heart clench. It was the three small forms huddled against their mother's dying body. Baby dragons, each no larger than a terrestrial horse, their scales still soft and underdeveloped. They keened, a sound that transcended language, pure grief and terror woven into a cry that echoed across the desolate landscape. The largest of the three noticed Ellen first. Its eyes, ancient and knowing despite its youth, locked onto the human. The baby dragon stepped forward, placing itself between Ellen and its siblings. "Please." The word emerged from the dragon's mind directly into Ellen's, the psychic connection making her stagger. "Please don't harm us. Mommy is dying. We have no one else." The dragon's name floated into her consciousness. Kara. Ellen slowly raised her hands, palms forward. "I'm a doctor. I want to help." Kara's mental voice trembled with desperate hope and disbelief. "Humans hunt us. Humans take our scales for armor, our blood for fuel. Why would you help?" "Because it's the right thing to do," Ellen said simply. She took a careful step forward, her medical kit clutched in her hands. "Let me try to save your mother, please." The mother dragon's massive eye cracked open, focusing on the tiny human with the last reserves of her strength. Her psychic voice was barely a whisper. "Kara, let hers approach." Ellen had treated dozens of species across the galaxy, silicon-based crystallids, methane-breathing void spawn, even the enigmatic thought weavers. But she'd never attempted to save a dragon. They were myths to most of the galaxy, ancient creatures who'd withdrawn from Galactic Council space centuries ago, after humans had nearly driven them to extinction during the First Contact Wars. The wound was catastrophic. Energy weapon burns, plasma lance, Ellen identified grimly. Someone had hunted this mother deliberately, but the dragon's biology was remarkably similar to Earth's megafauna in some ways. That gave her a chance. "I need to synthesize a coagulant for her blood," Ellen muttered, working frantically with her portable lab unit. "And she's going into shock. Kara, I need you to keep your siblings calm. Your mother needs to conserve every bit of energy she has." For 6 hours, Ellen worked. She used every trick she'd learned in field hospitals across 3 wars, every experimental technique she'd ever read about. The baby dragons watched in silent awe as this tiny human, this member of the species that had become the bogeyman of dragon folklore, fought with every fiber of her being to save their mother. Ellen's hands shook with exhaustion as she applied the final regenerative patch over the wound. "Come on," she whispered. "Don't you dare die on me. Your babies need you." The mother dragon's breathing, which had become shallow and irregular, suddenly steadied. Her eyes opened fully, clear and aware. The psychic wave of gratitude that washed over Ellen nearly knocked her off her feet. "You saved her." Kara's voice in her mind was filled with wonder. "You actually saved her." "Not completely," Ellen admitted, checking her scanner. "She needs weeks of recovery, specialized care. I'm going to have to call in support and—" "No." The mother dragon's voice was stronger now. "If the council knows we are here, the hunters will return. We must disappear again." Ellen's jaw set in determination. "Then I'm coming with you, at least until she's stable enough to fly." And so she did. For 3 weeks, Ellen lived in a hidden dragon sanctuary on the far side of the moon, tending to the mother's wounds, teaching Kara and her siblings about medicine and human culture. In return, they taught her the ancient dragon arts of psychic communication and stellar navigation. But word had gotten out. The rescue vessel Ellen had abandoned sent reports back to Galactic Command. Rumors spread like wildfire a human had saved a dragon. The act was so unprecedented, so contrary to everything the galaxy believed about human-dragon relations, that it sparked something remarkable. Dragons began emerging from their hidden sanctuaries. Humans who had harbored guilt over the ancient wars reached out in reconciliation. The Galactic Council, seeing an opportunity for peace, brokered the first human-dragon treaty in 5 centuries. When Ellen finally returned to Council space, she did so riding on Kara's back, a sight that was broadcast across 10,000 worlds. The young dragon had grown substantially, her scales now gleaming with the iridescent beauty of her species, and she'd sworn a lifelong oath to protect the human who'd saved her family. "Why did you do it?" a reporter asked Ellen during the historic peace ceremony. "You broke protocol, disobeyed direct orders, risked your life for a species humanity has been enemies with for generations." Ellen glanced up at Kara, who stood beside her like a guardian deity. "Because those baby dragons cried for help and their mother was dying." In that moment, nothing else mattered. Not history, not politics, not fear. There was just a family that needed saving. She paused, then added, "Humans are capable of great cruelty. We've proven that throughout our history. But we're also capable of great compassion. Maybe it's time the galaxy saw more of the latter." Kara's psychic voice rippled with affection as she addressed the assembled dignitaries. "Dr. Maris taught us that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing to do what's right despite it. She is proof that humans have evolved, that redemption is possible. The dragons will stand with humanity now, not as subjects or servants, but as equals and friends." The treaty was signed that day, ending centuries of mistrust. And at the center of it all was a simple truth that Ellen had always known. Sometimes the most revolutionary act in the galaxy is simply refusing to let someone die alone. Years later, when asked what she was most proud of in her distinguished career, Dr. Ellen Maris would smile and say, "I listened when someone asked for help. Everything else just followed from there." And Kara, her eternal companion and protector, would add with draconic wisdom, "She didn't just save my mother that day. She saved us all."